Hello again, everybody. Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader at thetechtrader.com. It's Thursday night, 6/23/16. Well, they're voting as we speak. Actually, polls are closed, and it looks like, from what we're hearing, the there's a strong possibility the British are going to remain, and as a result, we'll see what happens. But I think that we may extend the rally tomorrow morning. But I would be careful because this may have anticipated the rally. Today was a big day on Wall Street. A lot of stocks we followed did great. Let me show you a few of them that we traded and or are following. Ever since ALRM came out, my fundamentalists are talking to me how great a company it is, and like a $2 billion company and growing, et cetera, et cetera. So I've been following it. And the bottom line is that I've been in a mode where I've been interested in doing it, but I never did anything with it. So for now, let's say that the stock popped today, 257 or 11.4% on 632,000. It's a new issue, doesn't trade that much, but to me it looks like the top of the channel is beckoning around 28, 8.5. So we could see another 3 points on it. Stay tuned. This could be an interesting follow through tomorrow. There's 18.8 days to cover. I think the shorts are cooked on this one. ANIP. Well, it's a beautiful biotech. I put a swing on it because I like the way it looks. Yes, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off the low, but its consolidation looks so bullish, and it's right up against resistance. We may very well see this run to 62.3 and maybe even 72.3. Those are my targets going forward in this one. The stop would have to be underneath the pullback lows, and they're 50.5. 5.7 days to cover in this one. Beautiful trend developing. Blue Cora. Well, after the huge run up in May and then its consolidation for the last several weeks, it broke out with a thrust of 7% on more than a million one today. And you can see the OBVs making new highs too, confirming this trend. I think we're going to get a run up to test 10 3/4, my next target, followed by 12.5 3/4, my secondary target. Top of the channel says this could be 15. It's 4.2 days to cover on that one. Kimura's, which was a swing trade for us here and did very well, it pulled back and now it's broken out again. At least it appears it has. Up 68 cents or 7.5% on 3.6 million today. The OBV moving up. It looks like it's going to retest the highs up here around the 11 range, or 10 3/4 anyway. 10.83 was the high. My next target is 12.25, and then we're looking at 14, 15, or even 16 if it ever gets to the top of that channel, up in that zone. 3.4 days to cover on this one, and a good trend as well. We'll see ETX had a pretty interesting inside day today. First coming down to support, bouncing and closing up a fraction, but more importantly, it was a green day on a pullback consolidation. I think we go through 405 and run up to 4.5 and 5. I really do. CWEI is an old swing that continues to give after running up leg 1 and 2 in a wedge pattern, holding the trend lines and moving averages after the crossovers. Then the surge to secondary resistance at my target up here near 30, 31. Then another pullback falling wedge, and today a pop out of that little mini 3-day consolidation following the reversal. This is a reversal day at 33.14, so I'm looking to see if it tests 33, but ultimately this could be 42, 43. Great looking chart. 4 days to cover. This could be interesting. CY. Nice reversal off the lows today. If you take a look at the pattern, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this pullback had a big 16.7 million share reversal, or 6% higher. And when you see that coming off of the trend line, my target now is 12, 12.25. CYBR. Broke out across the January highs and now is maybe headed for a run at 52, maybe even 55, the 52, 55 range short term. If you get to 55, which is really my target, we could see the stock moving all the way up into the low 60s. Good looking chart as well. Big turnaround after multiple waves down, V-bottom reversal, and then the retest here, holding prior lows and a key level of support here. EMES, not only was it spectacular breaking out of the wedge yesterday, but it backed off today. It reversed a little bit. After hours, though, announced the sale of a division for 175 million to shore up their financials. The stock is trading at 13.25, as high as 13.75. So it's up another 2.24 after hours. Should gap and run tomorrow. I would not be shocked to see eventually run up to 18, 18.5, my target from the September high. Nice basing pattern breakout. There's still 4.5 days to cover. Swing trade GLOG continues to act well. The pullback, snap back today, 6.3%, 7.2 days to cover. Looks to me like it wants to get into that juxtaposition of resistance around 15.5, 16. That's my next target. Gencia, nice pop today. exploded for 26% on 3 million shares. With 10 days to cover, this stock had a spectacular day. And what's holding it back from even bigger run-up is this resistance from the June high at 520. Should it get through that, I'm looking for 5 3/4 and maybe as high as a run at the 6.15 range. Those are my short-term targets. Joy put out a swing on this one. I just love this pattern. This is a nice explosive breakaway move up to resistance and a beautiful pennant type or coil type consolidation. Today jumping $1.34, 6.25% on 3.6 million as well. If we can get it above the recent highs at 23.40, I mean, that could happen tomorrow morning. This stock could run first to 25 and then maybe as high as 30 or 32. 5 days to cover on Joy. Look, Clayton Performance Polymers, big run off the lows in January when it was 13 and change, all the way up to today's high near 30. But the more important factor was that major longer term resistance may have been taken out today right there. The spike high from 2012, which took it up to 31, would be my short-term target, followed by 34 at next resistance. 4.5 days to cover on that one. Great momentum. NBLY, we put a swing on it today because I love that big move with wave 1, and this was wave 2, and now wave 3 is underway, which could take it all the way up to 50, 52. Lateral price resistance there, and then at 55. But somewhere in that zone is my next target, and you can see that it just broke out today, jumping 272 or 6.7% on 4.2 million. In addition, 15 days to cover never hurts. I think the stock extends, provided the market cooperates. MGPI, consumer products, staple packaged foods, good. They really, what they're involved in is flavors and fragrances, things of that nature. This stock, which exploded in May, consolidated for 3-4 weeks, but today popped again. A 426 mover, 12.5%, 4.9 days to cover. If you look at the long-term chart, you'll see this is all-time high territory, or at least testing it right now. The spike in 2006 at 36 was taken out today. This could extend, although it is at the top of the channel. So let's see if we do get any momentum extension on that one. MGT setting up a beautiful flag. It moved a little bit, 6% today, but it looks like after the pop pullback coil broke out, it settled back into a 5-day flag. Watch this one carefully, especially over 3 3/4. This could rip. Micron had a big day today. I love the long-term down channel, the base, the breakout, taking out the declining tops line to pull back to the moving averages, creating a new up channel. I would have to say that the trend should look something like this now, and could very well take you to test 15, 16 zone short term, ultimately 19 secondary target. Maser Robotics, thinly traded, but a great chart. Long term, I remember after it came public how well it did, and then it came down hard, double bottom in the 8 and 40-50 range, and subsequently more than doubled. The breakout came here with a big breakaway gap across the moving averages, and then the pullback wedge. I call it, or coil. This is what it looks like right there. So that pattern exploded a few days ago and moved up more, backed off resistance yesterday. Today came on again. I don't see any reason why this can't extend. There is some resistance at 20, which would be a potential test as early as tomorrow. We get through that, the stock moves in the mid-20s. 5.4 days to cover. Well, new swing trade NADL literally achieved its target in 2-3 hours. Amazing that this ran from 6.5 to 8 that quickly. But look at the move today, 1.4 million, up 32%, one of the leading percent gainers. There's still, according to this, 9.2 days to cover. We may very well see an extension that takes this to $10, my second target. How about that? NTRA with a pop out of the falling wedge today, exploded on 1.5 million, $1.64, 13.7%. And with 10 days to cover, we may see this extend towards 16, 16.5 my next target. NVIDIA looks awesome. Continues to give no ground at all. This rising flag may have broken out today. It jumped another $1.26 or 2.7% on 7.5 million. And with 4.5 days to cover, it looks to me like it's going to be squeezed towards 52.3, my next target. And lastly is Yelp, which is in play apparently. After the V-bottom coil broke out there with the breakaway gap, and then this wedge formed, it's kind of remiss in not putting a swing on this. This looks great. I'm expecting a test of the December high up near the 32.25 area, short term. But if we get through that, we could very well see this in the 37 area. That's my target going forward for Yelp. And that's it for tonight, everybody. Have a good evening.